Market thinks that May is the most likely month, but there's still a very good chance that you might cut rates in March. Where are you?
Well, I mean, it's hard to predict the future, as you know, and it's really going to be dependent on how the economy evolves. I think March is probably too early in my estimation for a rate decline, because I think we need to see some more evidence. I think the December CPI report just shows there's more work to do. And that work is going to take restrictive monetary policy. But I do think that as we see continuing disinflation, and we could get more evidence that is convincing that inflation is on a sustainable downward path to 2%, then I think, we'll have that conversation about, okay, is it time now, when we look at inflation, but also importantly, inflation expectations, right? Is it time now to move the inflation, or move our Fed funds rate when monetary policies start that process of moving it back to a neutral rate? And what I would say is, I view sort of the soft landing scenario, right, as being the most likely, but I do think there's risks around it, and we have to be attuned to both sides of the mandate. So a reduction in the funds rate that is because we try to keep monetary policy well calibrated to what's happening on the inflation side of the mandate and employment side, that's different than having to cut the rate because we're heading into a recession. So, rate decreases that keep the real rate, not from rising. So when inflation and inflation expectations begin to come down, right, if you didn't do anything to your funds rate, you'd actually be sort of passively saying a tighter policy. That's the part of the evaluation that we're going to have coming up. But right now, the evaluation, I think, is, and the policy evaluation is, how long are we needing to keep interest rates and monetary policy at this restrictive stance? The next phase will be about, okay, is it now we've seen the conditions we need to start reducing the funds rate and reducing our funds rate back to a more neutral stance. I don't think we're there yet. I would like to see more evidence that the economy is progressing as we expect it to, as I expect it to, before we can do that.